Multitasking. Doesn't that make your productivity brain just drool a little bit? You can admit it. Mine too. Although, in the world of science, it's actually a well-known fact that we can't multitask, meaning carry out two actions that require specific cognitive functions simultaneously. What we are actually doing is flip-flopping back and forth very quickly. Some of you might be thinking, Ace, just hold your horses. I am a great multitasker. And yes, we can multitask by doing many things at the same time, like having a conversation on the phone while putting away the dishes, or walking while you're talking to your friends. Although sometimes that's a little bit challenging. Some of us can even breathe and do yoga at the same time. Also very challenging. But those are very different actions than those that require conscious, focused cognition. And yes, some people can flip-flop between cognitive tasks very quickly, which creates the appearance of simultaneous actioning. But the neural actions that are taking place are still a back and forth switch, not a simultaneity. You'll be able to see what I mean with this example. Have you ever been having a conversation with someone and they start doing something else? Oftentimes, it's on their phone. They may even go as far as to say, I'm still listening to you. I've just got to do this thing real quick. Keep going. You continue. They shake their head yes and no, like they're totally paying attention to everything that you're saying. You stop speaking, and a few delayed seconds later, they look at you inquisitively. What'd you say? It's in situations like that where you know their full attention is not with you, the conversation you're having, or whatever task you're trying to do together. Or what about the times when you're in a meeting? You're listening, paying attention even, and then you start thinking to yourself, I'm just going to send off this email really quick before the meeting finishes. Or I'm just going to respond to this message really quickly, but I can still hear everything that's going on, so it's totally fine. I can do this. And then somebody asks you a question, and you pull a, sorry, could you repeat that last part? You flip-flop it. You'll start the other task and you don't even realize the cognitive switch because you can still hear the meeting. Meanwhile, you are in a completely different neural universe of thoughts and computations without even realizing it. Quick PSA. This is also why texting and driving or doing anything else while driving is not a smart choice. Please don't do it. Not only does your reaction time decrease, but your observational awareness of your surroundings also plummets. Your reaction times are significantly delayed because you have to switch back to driving as the primary task when you need to respond to something on the road. And a fraction of a second can be significant when you are barreling down a highway in a metal box on wheels. So please don't multitask while driving. Now, onwards to the hack. Okay. So we know humans cannot do multiple cognitive tasks at once, i.e. multitask. And we are also living in a world where we are all trying to do, and accomplish and focus on output and achieve all these great things and be productive all of the time and go continuously. Have any of these thoughts ever frequented your head before? There is not enough time in the day. I can't get everything done that I'd like to do. When the heck am I supposed to do all of the self-care and exercise and enjoyment tasks when I can't even get all of my work done? Oy, Dios mío. Here's a hack to the rescue. If we were to acknowledge, okay, so my brain cannot do particular cognitive focus-heavy tasks at the same time. I cannot be as efficient, I cannot perform as well, and I'm not truly fully engaged in the activity. I cannot be as productive when I'm trying to do two things that require my glorious cognitive abilities at once. When we know the beast, then we can work with it. And then, what if we started asking questions like, what are the ways I can utilize my time and energy more efficiently? What other ways could I be more productive? How else could I get more done and engage in all the other activities that I would like to be doing? What would optimization look like here? Enter functional multitasking, doing two or more actions, activities, or tasks simultaneously that will not suffer at the flip-flop effect. Talk about hacks on hacks on hacks. Some of my personal favorites, developed over years of trial and error, include walks and audiobooks. Listening to a podcast and riding a stationary bike or a treadmill, especially in the cold Northern Hemisphere winter months. Stretching and listening to a podcast or music or course audios where there are no visuals required. Riding a stationary bike and watching my favorite TV shows. Working with resistance bands and meal prepping. Doing skincare like a face mask, tweezing, exfoliating, gua shaing, foam rolling, and listening to an audiobook or a podcast. Or oil pulling and doing a good rollout with a tennis ball. I hope you noticed that every single one of those activities is not a cognitively demanding task. They are not what Cal Newport has deemed deep work. They are, however, things that I would like to do. They contribute to my happiness and they add to the enjoyment of living for me. They are also activities that I have previously not made a priority, or I've made myself wrong for taking the time to do them, specifically because they are not activities that are deemed productive, especially in a society that rewards continuous work-related busyness. So the first part to getting the most out of this hack is changing your perspective. I started because I was curious. What if I switched the kind of activities that I was trying to multitask with? That way, I could actually allocate more time for the deep work with the tasks that require my full cognitive cognition. A key for this hack to work really well for you comes from the activities that you pair together. They need to work well together so you don't lose out on efficiency when you're doing them simultaneously. And figuring that out took some practice. I discovered that I cannot watch anything on a screen, movies, YouTube videos, or course materials, and stretch at the same time. I just can't do it. I get way too distracted. I just start paying attention to the screen and then I wind up either straining my neck or not fully engaging in a stretch because I'm trying to see the screen. And then honestly, it just usually ends up with me lying on the floor because I'm trying to watch whatever is on the screen instead of stretching. But I know this about myself now. I've experimented and I have tried a lot of combinations. And now I know what works for me and what doesn't. Another epic thing I love about functional multitasking is how I can set myself up for bonus offline time while I'm doing a lot of these combinations. When I take my audiobooks out for a walk, I use my old phone with no SIM card or data. That way, I've eliminated all distraction temptation to work or be connected to the online world in any way. That way, I can really be engaged with the walk and listening to the audiobook. If you don't have any of your old devices, you can always just download your audiobooks or your podcasts to your everyday device and then just switch to airplane mode while you're out and about walking so you don't have to be connected to the interwebs while you're listening. How handy! I also use this hack to keep my mind at ease. I don't have to worry about trying to remember anything that's popped up during my offline time because I know I have a place to put it. It is awesome! And you can learn just how I do that here or check it out from the link below. So, how can you use functional multitasking to your advantage right now? It is super easy. Here's how. Make a list of all the activities that you'd like to do, that you keep saying you want to do, that you enjoy doing, that you keep saying, I just don't have the time for. Then go through that list and see which activities would make good combinations, which ones would be fun to pair together, and really take a look at which activities would actually be better suited to being done on their own for you to really get the most out of them. Some require less distraction and aren't actually suited to being done simultaneously with something else, like me attempting to stretch and watch anything on the screen. This hack is meant to add joy and ease to your life, not stress you out because you're trying to do too much at once. Then choose a 30 to 60 minute space sometime throughout your week and do them. And hey, bada bing, bada boom, you are a functional multitasker. There's your hack. If you've got it, go! Utilize it. Reap the benefits of functional multitasking. But if you'd like a behind the scenes look on how this hack was developed, the ways I am personally utilizing it, and some pretty cool insights it's given me over the last few years, keep a watching. I love sitting down and reading a good book, especially on a cold, rainy day. But I also had this underlying point of view that when I was reading, I wasn't being productive. I was even wasting time. And so when I would spend time to read, I was also guilt-tripping myself at the same time, which is even less productive. So I could either spend my time reading, which was something I enjoyed doing, or go be productive. Those were the options I gave myself. And whilst I was reading, there was always a little bit of a guilt trip happening because I wasn't being productive. I was a little bit all or nothing with my thinking back then. It was a really clear demonstration of how when I didn't make an activity a priority, or I decided that it wasn't me being productive, I wouldn't make time for it in my life. Or I would have that guilt trip happening while I was doing it and I wasn't fully engaged and I wouldn't let myself just enjoy it. Around the same time I realized this all or nothing thinking I was having with reading, I was also looking for more ways I could add movement into my day, since a lot of the jobs that I was doing at the time required my butt on a chair in front of the computer all day long. I like to move, and I also made this wrong. Like, why can't you just sit still all day? Why can't you just feel great after sitting on your butt in front of a screen for 15 hours straight? Oh, the judgment was high with this one. Anyways, I did eventually clue in and see that there was a space that I could optimize. I'd like more books in my life, and I'd like to move more. The hack? Audiobooks and walks. It was so clear, so ease-filled, so achievable, and so easy, so simple, obvious, that it's nearly a facepalm moment. So much so that I was actually hesitant to put the example in this video. Like, duh, everybody would know that that's an obvious workaround. Why did it take you so long? That's embarrassing. But you get it when you get it. You see it when you finally let yourself see it. I've utilized this particular combo of functional multitasking for years now, and it makes me so happy. And I get to listen to so many books. Plus, I get my steps in. Now, if that's not a hack, I don't know what is. My other favorite combo has two variations, both of which infuse my days with a great deal of joy. I ride a stationary bike or walk on a treadmill and will either listen to music that makes me move and that I love singing out loud at the top of my lungs to, or I'll watch a TV show and enjoy the heck out of not working for 30 minutes and taking a cognitive break. I love music, and there are certain kinds of music that I cannot do anything else but sing at the top of my lungs to and dance like a complete lunatic, which is not conducive to when I need to sit down and focus on a particular cognitive heavy deep work task. There are certain kinds of work where I really enjoy doing them in silence, and if there's music on, I'll just get distracted. I first came up with this combo because I was looking for more ways that I could get a good sweat on and up my cardio game. Plus, I wanted to create some space where I could listen to music and not guilt trip myself that it was a non-productive waste of time. And having a stationary bike or a treadmill is an epic tool when it is -40 degrees outside. It's a little Maple Leaf moment. So I found a way to combine activities that really worked for me, that brought me joy and a sense of accomplishment. And it showed me that I was spending time actually actioning all the things that I said I'd like more of in my life. Plus, I get to move when I do it, which is happy days when you're a very energetic kid stuck in an adult body. When you get to know yourself, how you operate, what brings you joy, and you stop judging the living shit out of yourself for all of it, then you can start utilizing functional multitasking to optimize your own productivity and increase your life satisfaction in really profound ways. A really useful component when you're utilizing functional multitasking is this. Choose combinations of tasks and activities that both bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment. When you have those two things, when you're functional multitasking, it is a game changer. Not only can it dramatically change the perception that you have of yourself at the end of the day, it also starts orienting your internal dialogue to one of acknowledgement instead of self-criticism and judgment. Something I think we could all probably use a lot more of. I noticed that if I had started on a self-critical, judgmental path at the end of a day, berating myself for all the things that I didn't get done, all the things I didn't accomplish, nice, right? I could actually use what I had gained from my time spent functional multitasking to catch that negative baloney and change it within seconds. No, wait. I went for a walk, got my steps in, got a good sweat on, and I listened to a few good chapters of a good book. Oh yeah, I did do that. Great day. How does it get better than that? Boom! Going to bed with a sense of accomplishment instead of self-judgment. Thank you, functional multitasking. Quick vulnerability moment for you. I used to judge myself incredibly harshly for any form of getting ready, or being girly and taking time to do my hair or my makeup. If I didn't just toss on sweatpants and a t-shirt like my guy friends, I'd hear, "Oh, you take so long to get ready." Honestly, I probably heard that a few times and then just adopted it as this inherent wrongness of me. Not always the smartest cookie. Fast forward a few years of implementing functional multitasking, and now I enjoy the heck out of getting ready. I utilize this time to functional multitask. I'll put on music and have a dance party, or I'll even put on a good book, listen to a business podcast or course audios, and write blogs while I'm doing it. I've turned what used to be this wrongness into a really fun form of functional multitasking time for myself. Last but not least, a very current insight that has fueled my love of functional multitasking. A few months ago, I admitted to myself that I wasn't enjoying the journey. I had just been judging myself for not getting there, wherever there is. And what's the journey anyways? That phrase always bugged me. And then a little while ago, I saw what the journey was. It's every moment. Now I realize how philosophical and airy-fairy and woohoo that could sound, but I don't give a rip because it's true. It's actually incredibly pragmatic. If I'm not enjoying the moment, what's the point? Does it mean that life is a continuous series of sunshine and rainbows? Absolutely not. But can you still choose to experiencing exactly what you're experiencing in the moment and enjoy it? Absolutely. Does enjoying the ride look like constant manic happiness? Nope. But you could definitely laugh at yourself more, not take yourself or life so seriously, have more fun, and appreciate exactly what you have right now the way that it is, and still be taking the steps to get better and move forward. My old way of judging the living shit out of myself for not getting there, nor enjoying the moment, was not working. So I needed to change it. And change it, I'm working on it. My new target is to truly enjoy each moment, while also knowing that I am working towards greater and more, and enjoying right now too. Waiting until I get there, some predetermined somewhere, before I'm happy is ludicrous. What if happy was experiencing right now, exactly as it is, no matter what it looks like? And what if that was made even easier by utilizing functional multitasking? When you spot these seemingly small spaces of possibility that occur in your everyday life, and you infuse awesome and joy and that sense of accomplishment into them by your choices of the actions and activities that you pair together and then spend time doing, that is life-changing and happiness-inducing. So give it a go, have fun, experiment, try different combinations, and let yourself enjoy the time you're spending on these activities without the guilt trip, because now you're functional multitasking. If you come up with some cool combos, I'd love to hear about them. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're up to. And if you found this hack useful, please let me know. It's so much fun to hear from you, how you're doing, and how your adventure of life and living is going. Alrighty peeps, until next time, have way too much fun being functional with your multitasking. Oh, and could you help me out? Would you mind hitting the buttons below? But like nicely, because your phone or computer didn't do anything mean to you. So maybe just gently press the buttons below. You know, like the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, the notifications button, those kinds of things. I would be super grateful. Many a thanks in advance. Ciao!